I'm Sam.
And I'm Harvey.
And we're the co-founders of PrimeTime.
And we're Unemployable. Taste has always been primary box we want to tick. Sam and I both beer drinkers through and through. The whole common denominator of PrimeTime is but better, beer but better.
We've set out to disrupt a very boring and stagnant market, and we want to define our own category, which is the better for you beer space. My teacher at school said I can organise a piss up in a brewery, but let me tell you.
And it was once a niche product, which is now the best-selling beer in the US. So it's actually a niche that's very much becoming mainstream. That's our mission here in the UK, it's to pioneer the space.
Welcome to the Founders Lock-In, and you may have seen that we always have a PrimeTime lager on that we serve as our favourite beer of choice. So it is absolutely brilliant to have the founders of PrimeTime Beer in today, Harvey and Sam. Thank you so much for coming to our pub. It's obviously called the Lock-In. It's very, very late. It's gone past 1 o'clock. So I really appreciate you boys, coming at these very antisocial hours.
There's plenty of beers as well.
You will be used to it, won't you? Yeah, because literally, let's get straight to that bit. With obviously the Made in Chelsea aspect of your lives, which you did because it was a way of really getting the brand out there, right? Mm-hmm. I guess you've had some good parties and some great experiences from that, right?
Good parties for the viewer, maybe. Less so for the people there. It was a lot of fun. It was definitely a strategic move for us, starting PrimeTime. I did 5 years on it, it was a great way to kind of use it as a marketing tool to leverage, the brand awareness. And we're obviously operating in such a competitive industry, the beer space. So trying to find disruptive, creative ways to break through and create that noise, to get in front of the consumer. So hence the tattoo here. Because
lovely bit of product placement there.
Yeah, well, I kept trying to wear a branded hat.
Can you just put that near that camera? I mean, that is just.
You'll probably find me stroking my beard, trying to look intellectual, and getting that in shot. But it was ultimately a play to because you can't wear anything branded on Made in Chelsea, and I think most TV shows with Ofcom regulation. So I was always trying to come in with a t-shirt, hat like this, and then they were like, "No, take it off, Harvey." And I went, "How about now?" How's that? It was out of the forehead. That was the forehead. Yeah. So mine wouldn't have liked the forehead, so I went for the wrist.
Well, listen, it's that disruptive element that got you. I mean, look, come on, let's nice cold beers. Let's crack them open.
Yeah, very good stuff.
Lovely. Oh, whoa.
Cheers. We've all got different products here. Which do you reckon that personifies us slightly? What do you say that says about you?
What, this one?
It's a 0.
I'm working, mate.
I'm driving.
I'm driving.
What does yours say about you?
Mine says I'm fruity.
Do you agree with that?
No, I don't know why I went that way.
Yeah, I would say so.
Pear lager. We're the perfect pair, me and Sam, as co-founders, and therefore I've gone for this one.
That's nice. Listen, what I want to go into is this disruptive element, because we were so excited to have you in our watch list this year, which is those brands that we think are set for amazing things. And it's been so cool to see the momentum that you've been achieving. I mean, I know it started with getting your listing in Waitrose, and then all of a sudden now you've started in Tesco. This is a brand that is really starting to get out there. Does it feel good? Are you feeling excited and, bloody excited about what's happening with your business?
Yeah, I mean, it's been our baby, and we've been working at it for a while behind the scenes. So to suddenly get the recognition from the big players is super exciting. And when we landed Waitrose in October last year, it was kind of a real pinch me moment that we've set out to disrupt a very boring and stagnant market, and we want to sort of define our own category, which is the better for you beer space. So to get the buy-in from Waitrose and now Tesco shows that this consumer trend is coming, and we're kind of at the forefront of it. So yeah, it's exciting for sure.
I mean, it does taste lovely. We obviously have our big party at Abbey Road, and we really, really make sure that we get the right drinks for that, because you want to make everyone have a lovely experience, which is why we have PrimeTime. But it is lovely taste. It is really, really tasty. But it's the innovation behind it, isn't it? The low calorie side, caffeine in beer. Tell me about what kind of prompted you to start thinking of some of these crazy ideas for beer. It's brilliant.
Yeah, I think taste has always been sort of the primary box we want to tick. because Sam and I are both beer drinkers through and through. We actually met on a train over a beer when we were 19. I was doing a hybrid course with Newcastle University and PwC, training to be an accountant. And I was making my way back up to Newcastle from London, down the train to get myself a beer. Turn to my right, there's this guy with a 24 pack on his lap, and I'm like, it's my kind of guy. And
This is 24 pack.
24.
Yeah, that
Him
was
and
on
mate,
my own.
him and mate. There was a guy.
I was thinking,
And
that's
that's
ambitious.
what I thought. So this guy needs some help, and I need to save a quid or two because I'm a uni student. PwC don't pay you enough. Joking. There's some of my partners in the audience here, which is a small world, that I started my career path with. But and I was like, mate, can I crack one open with you? And it's because Sam used to have like long, shaggy poodle hair, like down to his shoulders, very recognisable bloke. And I was like,
I'm picturing that.
I know you from somewhere. Like, it felt familiar, beer and the fact I kind of knew him. And turns out we had loads of mutual mates, and we connected over that train journey and had a few beers. And then the next consecutive weekend, I saw him again down in London at a club. And then the third consecutive weekend, no word of a lie, we're at his house party in opposite Brooks. It's a chaotic house party for reasons I shan't go into. And
Do.
just, you can imagine, uni students and too many people, one house, and an evacuation was needed. And in that evacuation situation, chaos ensuing. I looked to my right again, and it's train boy, club boy, Sam. And I'm like, what?
Still with the long hair.
Yeah, with the long hair, yeah. I hadn't convinced him to cut it off. Yeah, that took a while, actually.
Yeah, it did.
But then that was when we met at 19, and I guess what drew us together was this love for, being out, socially connecting, beer. As I said, beer drinkers from our first to our last drink, and very keen into our sort of sports and fitness. And we played rugby at quite a high standard. Sam was at Loughborough Uni, right in the midst of high performance athletes, and it, and we found that just beer was so conflicting to trying to live that balanced lifestyle, that sustainable lifestyle, and enjoy the fruits of being out with your loved ones, your mates, having a good time, but also not putting on all the pounds that you've tried so hard through the week to get rid of. So
true.
No, but beer drinks through and through was the primary thing. So it was taste first. So we went out to ensure that we can make an award-winning beer that then removed as many of the unnecessaries as we could. We call it, carbs, calories, gluten. The primary thing was taste first, and then what can we remove without really, losing the balance and that sort of body of the beer.
I mean, that's the sort of job that you probably dream of as a student, isn't it? If you just said this is what you're going to be doing, you're going to be pioneering new ways of, doing beer. That'd have been like, that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, I think a lot of my teacher at school said I can organise a piss up in a brewery, but let me tell you, we definitely can. But yeah, 100% taste has been the most important thing for us. The Bud Lights and the Coors Lights and that had come over to the UK and had a crack at it, but really fell over because the taste wasn't there. And, we're a country that loves beer and loves going to the pub and loves a good tasting product. So, that's always been at the forefront, and it's important for us.
It excites me for you to tell me that there's some really good stuff in this as well. 'Cause the reason why I drink zero is I've Crohn's disease, so I just can tend to be very careful with alcohol. I don't drink very much alcohol because it just doesn't agree me too much with Crohn's. But you said there's some really good stuff in there. Just tell me again.
That's infused with magnesium and vitamin B12.
I hear this magnesium a lot. I mean, that is good, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's a perfect
B12.
post-workout beer, or the whole common denominator of PrimeTime is but better, beer but better. So all the products that we do, beer as we knew it, but with the enhanced kind of feature. Low calories, low carbs, a functional additive. Pears, our newest one. It's made with real pear fruit, a nashi pear, which is like an Asian pear, which has been studied for an enzyme that it has in breaking down alcohol and actually reducing hangovers. I don't know if you come across a few brands now hitting the UK market, like one called Prepare, another called Nashi, maybe it's
Nashi Gold.
Nashi Gold. Yeah. And it's this Nashi pear juice which you consume just before drinking, and it reduces your hangover. So we've gone, right, we're trying to be the leaders in this better for you functional beer space. Fruit lager is a growth category within the beer industry, and we want to play into it with the core ethos of PrimeTime, which is beer but better. So we kind of researched, and actually Sam, weird story again, there's one Nashi pear farmer in the UK that grows this Asian pear, and it just happens to be Sam's fiance's godfather who gifted Sam a Nashi pear last Christmas.
Yeah.
So when we kind of went to the drawing board, MPD, continuing this innovation, and where can we, how can we sort of create our next product? that whole, we dug up the Nashi pear.
My mother-in-law thought it'd be a good idea to buy me a Nashi pear tree for Christmas. So imagine how that one went down. But when I bit into the fruit, it was delicious. And yeah, Clive is the only person in the UK to farm it. So yeah, it's a pretty cool full circle thing, supporting a British farmer that, fruit farmers are struggling at the moment. So yeah, we're helping where we can. And that's just gone live in Waitrose nationwide. So
Brilliant.
He's a happy man.
I mean, if you think about what you're doing, it's brave, because there are some, obviously, without naming names, there are some huge heavy hitters in this space. So that is what makes this so exciting, not just disrupting innovation, but the fact you're challenging some of those really established brands. Are you boys brave? Have you got courage? Is this just in you to take on the giants?
I think we're both pretty bold characters, yeah. And we steam into things head first and 100%. And you have to be like that. And I think there's some sort of level of not quite knowing. And just, we love what we do, and we're building a business that's, we've done a solution for ourselves, and it turns out that a lot of people also are after the same sort of product. So we kind of naively went into it in a way, but disrupting these big guys is important. They're so archaic, and they're less nimble. So we're out doing events 3 days a week. We're doing our live music events around the pubs. We're bringing sort of Irish music back to London and getting people into the pubs, which is
Sorry, that's the thing, is that the Irish music is a big thing.
Yeah, the live music, we've decided to sort of bring live music into all of our events, where bringing people into the pub is the most important thing, right? Hospitality is struggling, and other beer brands are struggling to sort of get people through the doors, whereas we're super fortunate from having the exposure on TV to have a big following, where we can put an event up and people will come down, and working with loads of other influencers that are our mates. It's kind of our unfair advantage, I suppose, that we can throw a party and hundreds of people will show up and they'll dance and have a great time. It's not necessarily just about the beer. It's about bringing people in and having like the most amazing time and doing it more mindfully. And it's not about just getting hammered. It's about having fun with your mates.
Yeah, I like that. It's not just about getting hammered. It's about having fun with your mates. In terms of taking us to getting in front of your Waitroses and your Tesco's, yes, you have a great big following, but as we know, it is all about getting in front of them, getting your product sampled by them, and then all the steps that you have to go through. Have you got any, especially for anybody that's listening to this, in terms of wanting to really take some inspiration, have you got any tips in terms of the best things you can do to get spotted by the retailer, not spotted, but to get your product into them?
Yeah, it's patience for sure, and persistence. Definitely. We've been emailing the likes of Waitrose and Tesco's years previous to finally getting like a foot in the door.
Really?
And then that comes with proof, and we built the brand on the on-trade in pubs and bars, and where the doors are slightly easier to knock down, and you can start to gain a bit of brand awareness and traction, and show that you have a value proposition worth listening to. And I think that's so key for these bigger players who are they have limited shelf space, which everybody's competing for. Like, you have to have a trade story and a value proposition that just like scratches their back as much as they're going to scratch yours. It's so it's about, I guess, earning the rights first to have some form of leverage, to then have those conversations and be taken a bit more seriously. But I think the supermarket is well known. Like, it's very rare that you just walk in that day one. So I think that's where the patience comes. And then, have a good product, I guess. That's from day one. There,
that really
taste first. So you're not flogging a dead horse. But yeah,
I think by building a community and by being at the right places, with the right people that are going to get behind your brand, like we do a lot in the events and festival space. So we're out there in front of people, we're sampling, we're with people when they're having their the best time with all their friends, and the big buyers see that, right? So we won a festival this year up against a big brewer. I won't mention who they are, but billions of pounds brewer, and we won it in London. It was called Brockwell Live Series, and something like 250,000 cans were going out there, and we were the sole beer. Jubel were there as like a fruit refreshment is their category, but we were there, and 2 years ago, who'd have thought a low calorie beer would be in a festival like that, like a headline partner of a festival
So
like that. So these buyers are looking, going, shit, like this is a mainstream product. It is niche, obviously, with the low calorie, low carb, but people are looking for it. So it's kind of positioning yourself at places like that where the buyers go, all right, yeah, this is not just such a niche product.
I think it's also interesting on that word niche. As of last week, a report came out that Michelob Ultra is the biggest selling beer in the US, which is exactly the same credentials as us for our lager and IPA, 4.2%, 95 calories a can. And it was once a niche product, which is now the best selling beer in the US. And I think, we took a lot of inspiration from the US and Australia. I grew up in Australia, which was an influential factor, where the markets there are quite established and developed in the low carb, low calorie beer space. And now you've got the Michelob Ultra being the front runner. So it's actually a niche that's very much becoming the mainstream. And that's our mission here in the UK, is to pioneer the space and make it mainstream.
Do you worry when you create such a great product that you could be easily replicated, copied? Does that stop you sometimes sleeping at night, or do you just get used to it?
Yeah, you get used to it. I think Sam says it best: if we're not getting copied, we're not doing something right, But it is down to brand strength, brand equity, building that community, having a cool brand. Obviously, taste is key as well. But at the end of the day, someone can go and sort of replicate our liquids there or thereabouts. So yeah, it's just about being authentic with everything we do, true to the provenance of the brand, why we started it, and sharing our mission in a authentic way that means that others can try and do what we do.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the big guys, they have tried doing low calorie beer because they don't have that authentic provenance, that source of emotive fuel and power. It's just fallen flat, and they haven't been able to accumulate that customer base and that demand to get it off the ground. So they allow us to move the way we do, agile, with founder vision, and then at the right time acquire or partner or work with us, because we've developed a real community and a product that is is genuine.
Awesome. Let's just go to something that we love to badge the fuck ups. And you're coming to the fuck ups in December, aren't you?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, I'm thinking mine. I've got so many. I'm going to narrow the list.
But it's really important to us, because I think it's it's a very un-British thing to really celebrate your mistakes. It's something that sometimes we tend to shy away from. But when I read about the fact you rocked up somewhere with 20,000 people ready to have a really great time, there was just one slight problem. Your beer wasn't there. So just take us through that, because I'm sure it wasn't, I bet it was very unfunny at the time. So I'm sorry, I'm laughing, but just take me through what on earth happened and how the hell you resolved it.
And that was a wild story. Yeah, that.
It's the beginning of the grey hairs.
Yeah, grey eyebrows now. Yeah, that was our first brewery. So we found a brewery up north, and we were obviously bootstrapping the business at the time, and minimum orders weren't massive. But through a friend of ours, Chris Jammer, he owns Strawberries and Cream Festival and Cambridge Club, we managed to land a big festival deal, and it was kind of basically just after we launched, and Harvey and I say we bite off more than we can chew, and then chew it like fuck, basically. And we had bitten off more than we can chew.
Sorry, let me just go through that. I love that. I'm going to commit to memory. So bite off more than you can chew, then chew it like fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Get that on a t-shirt.
What a saying. I love that.
And yeah, so we signed up to this festival, and we were up there and standing in the field, and the bar operator, it's not the full circle moment, but the bar operator was up there, and he goes, "Where's the beer?" And we're like, "Oh, it's coming. The one thing they need at a festival is beer. It's the thing they sell the most of." We were starting to shit ourselves, and called our brewer and said, "Where is this beer?" And they said, "Well, unfortunately, we've come into financial issues, and the logistics company that we've used is taking your beer hostage, basically, and are not releasing your product until you pay out the whole or whatever." But the whole was so great that we would have, we didn't have any money at the time, so we couldn't basically pay it. And so we were trying to keep calm and not scare the bar operator. Otherwise, we'd never work in festival game again, because he operated most of them.
So what did you do?
Well, started crying.
The brewer started driving it down from.
And he got a transit and ferried it back and forth from Cambridge to Yorkshire, and managed to deliver it over the weekend. He probably didn't sleep for 2 days, but he got it down there, and then that brewery ended up going under. So massive learning, I suppose, and that's why we keep all of our, we have a few breweries running at any one time now in case something like that happens.
So the major lesson there is, what's the expression? Too many eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
Spread them.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, definitely. opened our eyes up to how sort of important supply chain is and that management side of the business. Yeah.
And keep calm when you're in front of a customer, right?
Exactly. Very cool.
But I think to the outsider, it went all right. But we
I think so,
we
yeah.
didn't sleep for 2 days.
Okay, that was a big one. Have there been any more?
In our industry, because like it can be quite unstable. We've had loads of just partners just not pay us, so the bad debts are quite high, which is tough for the startup who's so cash flow sensitive and trying to juggle things our side. That it's you've got some big partners that just go, oh no, we're not paying you now, and you're like, oh hang on. But I think as horror stories go, that's
the worst.
The festival's the worst. We've had things like we've printed like big runs of cans without certain information on it, or
Spelling mistakes.
Yeah, we did a big. Oh, this box here. Actually, this is funny.
We got a live
This box. Remember this thing? This box. We printed quite a few of these. Award-winning. You might not even know. Can you? I didn't even clock it for a while. Award-winning. I actually, because I'm so dyslexic, I actually thought that was right, but it wasn't my sign. Well, actually, probably also it was.
I feel guilty.
We did things like that, and then and then you just adapt. Like then we printed some like papery, exact same color as this, and before they go out, apart from this occasion, we just we put it over it and it tastes, and but it's just quite funny the amount of things that happen like that. You get a thick skin, don't you? Mm. And the highs.
How many of those have you got?
Oh, we did maybe 1,000 of these.
Okay.
So, well, at the time, could be worse.
I like tats anyway.
Yeah, exactly. It's intriguing. It spikes curiosity.
Wow. So, is it okay? We just go a little bit more into the Made in Chelsea experience, because that must have been absolutely crazy, right? All of a sudden, I take it you didn't have experience of having 1 million people watching you before, and then all of a sudden you've got a huge audience. When you're filming it, have you got loads of people? I know you got loads of people watching you, but have you got loads of people in the studio, whatever, or wherever it is, filming you and watching you? I mean, what is the experience like?
Yeah, well, that's probably good to set some context. So Sam and I conceptualized PrimeTime. Both having finished our careers. Previous to that, I was at PwC, qualified as an accountant, and then as we were thinking, how do we get this company off the ground? We'd been asked to go on the show for a number of years, but it hadn't aligned with our current positions at the time. And we went, let's actually go and do this together and use this as the starting point to bring our idea into more of a reality. And we needed something that allowed us to still have some form of income. We bootstrapped ourselves and funded it. So that's kind of where it began. So we went out, we flew out to Buenos Aires where the show began, where we started the show. And like the first scene, we were like, the context there was like, what are you guys doing here? Like,
so that was your first?
Yeah, we're looking for breweries out here in Buenos Aires. Like that made no logistical sense. Now you look back at it, that would have been a really shit supply chain. But that was like our story out there. We were like, right, well, that's what we're doing here. And then the intention was to always grow our personal profiles and speak about the building of PrimeTime, which I don't think we even had a name at that point, just a concept of we want beer that's better. And
we had code names going out there, so we were obviously flown out there to be big bombshells. Harvey's ex-girlfriend was obviously with Jamie Lang, and that was kind of the ex was coming to really fuck shit up basically. And I was at school with Sam Thompson and those guys, so it was kind of me bumping into Sam, an old friend, and just happens to have the ex with me at the same time. And you were like San Diego and I was like San Francisco, and we were in like a separate hotel. And then, the big bombshell kind of happened, but all of our filming was surrounded by breweries and bars talking about the beer, because we obviously knew that it films and it comes out like, several months later, and, we could kind of pick up momentum in that period.
But then lockdown hit.
Yeah, then lockdown.
And then lockdown hit. And then, so that was never part of the plan. And then we kind of used that time to kind of just, I guess, build the infrastructure of the business a bit more and, just be a bit more patient with the sort of market launch. But yeah, to your question, you're not like in a studio. It's not as much like this. It's you're in like natural settings. Yeah. But you have like extras around you. You kind of, I don't know how much I can say. I think I'm out of contract.
As much as you like.
but yeah, it feels kind of natural. Like it's probably similar to this. Like once you're in the flow of conversation, you kind of blur out the
You forget the cameras.
surroundings and peripherals.
I've forgotten the cameras.
Yeah,
To be honest, 'cause I'm just talking to you.
Except for when you get stopped, but then you have to start again. And
yeah, and then if there's a siren in the background and like audio like disruption, and like there's points where you're like, this feels a bit unnatural, but ultimately, like at least I can confidently say I held true to myself. It was always like who I am. I never deviated my morals, or I was just like, this is me, and like I wasn't like I need to stay on the show. I just like naturally caused chaos around me. And,
You did, didn't you?
Yeah, I don't know how, but yeah, all for the greater good. But yeah, since sort of the beginning of this year or end of last, I've hung up my boots because PrimeTime's off the ground. Still a lot of work to do, but that was always the intention. So sort of put that to the side and full throttle.
Yeah.
PrimeTime.
How do you find the experience?
yeah, I mean, I was less involved in drama. That's more kind of Harvey's right hand man, but watching from the sidelines, it was quite entertaining. But yeah, I mean, it's full on. So we both couldn't be on it kind of full time with running the business and building the brand. And I think it's been amazing, and to build the profiles that we have, and especially Harvey and the network it's brought has been phenomenal. But at the same time, it ran its course, and the brand became bigger than the show, and we didn't ever want it to be a PrimeTime and Made in Chelsea business. Like, you have to escape that at some point, and the business has to stand on its own 2 feet. And I guess there is some stigma that comes with being on Made in Chelsea. You always get the question, "Oh, you're just two rich boys that have been given money from your parents." And
How does that feel? How does that feel when you get asked that question?
oh, well, it's frustrating, but it just drives us harder. Like,
Do you get that a lot?
not for a while, but that was always the first, and always the headlines are kind of, Made in Chelsea stars, or so-and-so's broken up with someone and they have a beer company. So it was frustrating, but then it's kind of overtaken that now, and the proof's in the pudding, and we've got a great investor base, and we've done this all ourselves, and we've stayed true to ourselves, and that's the important thing. But it's been a fantastic sort of boost, and having the network we've got, and the intros, and the firepower behind us now is super helpful. So
It feels like you're on to something big moving forward now. Do you feel like everything is now set to really rock it? Is that how you feel?
Yeah, I think like we sometimes use the analogy like every domino that falls gets slightly bigger. And it's a snowball effect with, like, in the industry we are, because it's high volume, low margin, but once it gets going, you can feel it. And I think we are just playing into such a mass macro shift. Like, people want better through every medium, in F&B and through their general, lifestyles, training more, running more, Fitbits, calories on menus. In every F&B category, there is this better for you functional, disruptor that's coming through. And I think alcohol lags because it's, I guess, through that weekly, habitual lifestyle, you probably put alcohol at the back end of, right, I've made all my marginal gains through the week. Now I'm getting to the pub setting, I'm letting my hair down. And we've always said, well, you've tried so hard through the week, you've got to the gym, you've done your 5 runs a week, you've done a big week at work, and then why undo all your hard work when you can do it in a more mindful, balanced way? And then, compound interest, get that 1% across, all aspects, and then suddenly you get to your Monday on the front foot, better version of yourself.
I guess what's it stops people derailing, because what it's like, you go and have too many of the wrong stuff, and all of a sudden you just feel, I've just undone everything, and then you probably start the next week badly because you're thinking, I know that's how my mentality is. But it's nice, isn't it, to think that you're having a drink that actually is not undoing that work, especially as you're saying it. It's completely tapping into the way we now think.
Yeah, exactly that. So I think because of that, and when you just look at the logic and the fundamentals of the macro consumer shift at the moment, and what our product does for that, it's hard to think it's not going to go the right way. But then it comes down to execution and not fucking up boxes. And
I think, like I said earlier, when you get the nod from the big buyers, who are very data driven. You know, they're seeing what's happening in the market, and they're following the trends, and they're, you know, wanting to pioneer those trends. That's the exciting thing. And you know, we're showing up now at events with Gymshark. You know, we're at their biggest event in London, and our 0% was there. We did an event last week to represent the clothing brand. We do Friday Night Lights, like these big amazing brands that we all look up to, and we'd dreamed of collabing with, are now calling us, going, you know, can you come and do it with us, because we're that beer of choice for people that want to be more health conscious. And you know,
and of course the pubcast, you know, the Founders Lock-in drink of choice.
of course, yeah.
Does it come bigger than that?
We need to get you a tap installed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should do. A raw one.
It's a brutal one.
Yeah.
You've raised a lot of money for, obviously, to do this. And what's impressive, you've done it between crowdfunding and also private money, isn't it? What's the kind of differences that people kind of need to know to really nail how to do that successfully?
Yeah, so we've done both. We've got a great investor base of sort of angel investors, and you know, either exited founders or current founders, and super strategic investors as well from the industry, and that's been the most important thing, I think, is finding the right investor. I think it's easy to, you know, get offered 100 grand from someone, and you know, it ends up being the worst thing you've ever done, because they're not right for the business and they've got no experience and they haven't understood raising and dilution, etc. And you can then go down a path where you don't want to be going. So I think it's all about picking the right strategic investor and taking them along on the journey. And you know, we've got some fantastic investors. One of them is Josh Patterson, one of the first investor in Runner. I guess you could call him a co-founder, I suppose. And
wow.
A lot of the inspiration behind the Zero was Josh. Obviously not a massive drinker, but you know, when he does drink, he likes to drink better. So he actually just cracked that open on the top of the mountain that he did his world record marathon on. So having people like Josh on board that are, one, super strategic, they've got a huge following, from, you know, being an ultra athlete, to has been on the journey with a business that's gone from zero to hundreds of millions pretty quickly.
It's phenomenal what they do with Runner, isn't it? Yeah.
And access to his network and his connections is you know, a great example of, you know, a good investor. And then the crowdfunding was more of a getting our community involved piece. We had just decided, you know, we had kind of come to the back of our raise, and then we were launching into Waitrose, and we said, why don't we, you know, get our biggest supporters involved in the business, and you know, put it out there. And we had, you know, 400 investors come on board pretty quickly. We did it in a day.
How much did you raise from crowdfunding?
We did decent six figures on
did
there.
You?
Yeah. To kind of close the round. And now we've got, you know, 400 people that tell all their mates about it, went into Waitrose and bought it straight away. Always helping us where they can, and it's a great community of people.
So you would definitely recommend the crowdfunding side as well, then?
I think if you're a consumer like focused business, yeah, because it's kind of a marketing play in that you're bringing in your community into the business, and we've got a load of I guess, you know, micro ambassadors or people who are, you know, speaking positively of your brand, and going to purchase it. So yeah, I'd say so.
I think it's the most insane thing when you're putting this pitch out on the internet, and people are putting like 25 grand in, and you've never met them before. And like, that shows, you know, that
shows you do something right, doesn't it?
We're actually organising our Christmas investor summit at the moment, where we're going to try and get all 400 down and all of our other investors and do a night out all together. So you should come along to that.
Sounds great. When's that?
6th of December, I think.
And broadcast that out.
Get them out. More beer sold. More the merrier.
Don't say location.
Obviously, the dynamic between the two is really, you can tell you get on really well, don't you?
We do.
Are you clearly differentiated in terms of your roles? I mean, just tell us a little bit more about, as co-founders, how you basically make it working together.
Yeah, we are very different. Harvey is super intelligent, like probably the smartest bloke I know. Maybe
he's the coolest accountant I think I've
definitely.
They are a cool bunch of cats, but this guy is definitely.
But I think that career and that training has been the kind of the underpinning thing of PrimeTime. You know, having an audit accountant, you know, leading a business is super helpful. I mean, there's no stone goes left unturned, and you know, he looks at P&L and he picks a mistake in it in 2 seconds. So that's very much his world, and I'm happy to leave the finance and
you're happy to do that.
Yeah, I love the fundamentals of a business and the granularity. I don't personally dive into like the finance. We've got a head of finance now, but I also love the creative and like the visionary side. But yeah, I think
That's a real
I have
mix,
an
you know, isn't it?
understanding of a sort of the structural side that a business needs to have, I guess.
So Sam, what's the bit that you love to do then?
I'm very much a people person. I love being out and about and doing sales and some of the big partnerships, and I kind of run the investor side of things as well. So fortunate in my previous career to kind of be around. I worked at L'Oreal and then I went to work at a private jet business. So had a great network there, and a lot of them have come on board as our investors. And so yeah, investing and sort of business development is kind of my stuff, but we cross over on everything and we pass everything by each other. And that's the most important thing, is that I definitely don't stand on his toes. He doesn't stand on mine, but when we go together, you know, we're a pretty unstoppable force. When we go into a meeting with a pub group or a supermarket, we can dance well together.
Yeah, I mean, a co-founder relationship is a really tight one. It's a close one, close as hell, closer than any other relationship. And I guess, like many relationships, are there any times sometimes when you look at each other and just think, I fucking hate you? I mean, does that ever happen, or is that just us, Charles?
So what we've been pretty good. Like we've gone through pressured times and tough times, and we've not really had a blowout or a bicker to any like noticeable degree that I can remember.
That's great.
I think because we are such close friends beforehand, we're not treading on eggshells around each other really. Like if I get frustrated, I'll tell him why, and he will vice versa. And it's just squash. We're not like, you know, tiptoeing around each other, which is important.
How many people have you got now, by the way?
11 with us.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the team is growing, isn't it?
Yeah.
How are you finding that in terms of building the culture?
Yeah, good. It's always been a key thing for us. Obviously, again, fun, beer brand, like culture's so key. And it's, you know, what connected Sam and I, like just having fun and the social connection piece. And so we've always wanted to instill that in our workforce. And, you know, we're all super young, super just hungry, like ready to muck in. So yeah, I mean, culture's definitely a key sort of focal point for us. And yeah, I think, you know, we love, again, Sam speaking very highly of me there, but he's just one of the most emotionally intelligent and like best people's person. I don't know what I mean.
He's a person of the people.
So I think we both have quite like fatherly tendencies in that regard, and that we love to like, I guess, build up our team and like nurture them and see them kind of like grow into kind of their roles and be like, oh yeah, we know we're responsible for that. It's a nice feeling.
Yeah.
Fergus, our ops manager, got married this year, so went up to his wedding, which was incredible. Obviously, PrimeTime was on draft, and he'd done a nice little sleeky install up there at his family home. But when I go up to that wedding, and I was sat there, and you know, the best man is just all he's talking about is Fergus's love for PrimeTime, and like all he talks about is PrimeTime. And then the father of the bride is talking about PrimeTime. You're like, fuck, like we've really created this culture of people that love working for PrimeTime and love the business. And you know, Fergus was number 2 in the door and still with us, and very much leader in the business. But yeah, when you go to a wedding and like an event like that, and you see, you know, you kind of step back and everyone's talking about the business that you kind of started and that he works for, is a pretty cool moment.
Let's pick him up, because every time we do an order with you, we deal with Fergus, and he's great. He's lovely. He's so lovely. He just makes the experience lovely.
Yeah. He's a lovely, lovely guy, yeah. The beating heart of the business, and a big, you know, he's a powerful role in PrimeTime, and a lot of people look up to him. He's, you know, he works in ops, so he gets the beer from A to B, but he also is kind of, you know, he's running all the IT systems. He's, you know, when there's an event and Joe's out there and he needs support, Fergus is there. And yeah, he works bloody hard, and we're lucky to have him for sure.
Have there been any moments where you got it wrong?
With employees? Oof, yeah. There's a few
stuff out there.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
I think it's always hard as a founder when someone decides they potentially aren't right for the role, or you decide they aren't right for the role, because
how do you deal with it?
You take it so personally, don't you? You're like, why do you not love us? Do you not love the business? And why don't you?
It's the ultimate rejection in many ways, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's horrible. So how have you dealt with it when that's happened?
I think you have to just, you know, compartmentalize, and we're super fortunate we've got a great board.
Yeah.
I think, you know, that's one thing that we lean on a lot is our board when, you know, times are hard or there's a difficult situation going on, we definitely lean on our board a lot, and they've got huge experience across businesses that have got thousands of employees, and leaning on them for advice is important, and it's super helpful because what we think might be a good idea is probably not, and lucky one of them's wife's HR director at Deloitte, so
That helps.
Yeah. That definitely helps.
So listen, as I said, to have you guys in our watch list this year was a real treat, a real honour, and thank you so much for being such awesome members of our gang. You've been so supportive, coming to some great events and supplying with some fantastic beer. Do you think hopefully we're going to be seeing you in the main Graft 100 anytime soon?
That's the goal. That is the goal. Yeah, I think hats off to you guys or what you've created. It's amazing to be part of it, and see the people at the top of that list and set your sights on what needs to be achieved to get there. So when we sat here, we didn't think we could get there, but it's not easy. Like, hats off to anyone who has done it. It's impressive.
But hey, things are looking good. It's going the right direction. You're having a great time, and it's just fantastic. So listen, huge congratulations for everything you're doing. Can't wait to see any new retailers that we need to look out for.
Or just get down to Waitrose and Tesco's for now, and
I guess that's quite tricky in itself, isn't it?
What's come, for sure.
So I hope you've enjoyed listening today. If you like what you heard from the guys at PrimeTime, please like and subscribe. Cheers, guys. Thanks for coming to our boozer.
Cheers.
Okay, so welcome to Founders Lock-In. I've got my boys from PrimeTime Lager, Sam and Harvey. How you doing?
Very
Good.
well.
Thank you so much for popping by. Got 6 questions, quick answers. Don't overthink it. Shoot from the heart. Are you ready?
Okay.
All right. If you could do it all over again, what would you do differently?
Probably hire maybe some experienced people in the industry, some sort of titans.
Yeah.
Maybe.
We went heavy on marketing and maybe left the sales function alone a bit much. So
Has there been a moment you thought about quitting?
not yet.
No, really, never.
No, I think the harder it gets, the more deep I dive,
Really?
and the less I want to quit.
Fabulous, right. What's one thing no one tells you about the life of an entrepreneur?
It's just all consuming. I think, you have to be prepared to live and breathe it. I think one of the hardest things is having a relationship and being an entrepreneur. You're married to the business and also your partner, so.
Yeah, amen. That's a tricky one.
I think the relationships get tested more than you'd ever think or be warned of. Like, not even just other halves, but even friends, family, because it is all consuming.
There is that hustle culture out there, which is everyone's praised for working 24 hours a day and sleeping 1 hour and getting up and doing it again, and I actually think that is not a good way to operate. You're just not going to get anywhere by burning yourself out, and then you let yourself down and your partner down and the team down. So
What's one thing that you wish you were doing better as a business?
More disruptive in our...
More disruptive?
Yeah, we are a disruptive product by nature. We're disruptive thinkers by nature, but it's very easy to then fall into kind of the codes of conduct of the industry in which you operate.
Describe your first year of being in business in one sentence.
hardest thing ever.
It is, the biggest challenge I've ever set myself. And I love challenges. I love being outside my comfort zone. I love pushing boundaries, but there's bitten a lot off. And it does keep surprising me with how challenging it can get. But again, I love it. So.
Fab. Okay, final question, guys. What's your favourite business book or podcast?
Do you know what I listened to the other day is that Hungry podcast with the founder, Al Barrett. Yeah, I found that interesting. Yeah. I was listening to that on my flight. We went to a wedding.
Nice.
Yeah. The Hungry guy, he's good at it.
So?
I'm a sucker for Diary of a CA. I'm just getting through those. I listen to podcasts on a run, but I'm not really a big listener, if I'm honest.
Okay, well, there you go, Stevie.
Yeah.
You got Harvey's a fun.
Yeah.
Listen, guys, thank you so much. You've been six-packed. You smashed it.
Legend. Thanks for having us.
Thanks, mate.
Enjoyed that.
Right,
Cute.
little game of darts here. These boys look a bit tasty. Let's see what they got. Okay, who's going first? Sam, over to you, mate.
Sam's up to the plate.
Whoa!
It's come on the inside.
How much is that? How much is that? Does anybody know?
TMO.
25. 25.
I'll tell you what.
Start.
Whoa!
We'll crack this open for this.
Okay, what we got?
1.
1,
14.
14, 2.
2.
Okay, that was a game of two halves, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's so strong.
Okay, Harvey, your turn.
Okay.
Oh!
What an awful start. Oh, and again. Oh God.
Okay, you've got to pull this one out the bag. You're under a
Okay,
bit
so
of
I'm
pressure here.
17 and 5.
Yeah.
22. Christ. Oh, getting nervous. Do I
12.
want that treble 20? Hit me.
12.
20.
20. Okay. Boys, well done. Thank you
Nice
for
one,
playing
mate.
darts in my boozer. Smashing.
Stop it.
Right, that's it.